Good morning again. How are you? I hope you're hanging in there, going strong in the middle of January. Today's January 23rd, and I hope that the month is being good to you and that you are being victorious in all kinds of ways in your life. Since it is January 23rd, we'll be in Proverbs 23. And the verse we're focusing on today is verse 12. Let's see what it says. Verse 12 says, "To apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge." One translation words it this way, and I love the imagery here. It says to bring your heart to instruction and bring your ears to knowledge. Now, obviously, our heart and our ears are going to go wherever we go. But here we're being told that we are to be intentional about where we take our heart and about where we take our ears. We are told to be on purpose about what our heart and ears are exposed to. Proverbs 4:23 tells us to guard our hearts with all diligence above all else. Why? Why are we to do that? Because from our heart flows everything we do. It tells us that our heart is the wellspring of our life. Think about that. What we do in our life springs from what's in our heart. And so we have a job making sure that our heart and here our ears are exposed to the things that are going to be beneficial and helpful to us. You've heard it said or seen it posted or seen it plastered. I have. It's everywhere. To follow your heart. Well, in light of what the Bible says here and other places, that is a really, really bad piece of advice. And while I understand that most times and oftentimes when someone says to follow your heart, they're referring to maybe follow your dream or follow your passion. And in and of themselves, those are not necessarily bad things. But the truth about that phrase is this, that we do tend to follow our hearts, that our hearts will take the lead oftentimes and not in a good way. Jeremiah 17:9 says this about our heart, that our hearts are deceitful above all else, above all things, all else. It says that our hearts are desperately sick or weak, that it's deceitful. And here that word deceitful is translated as insidious. Those are very, very strong definers of what our heart actually is. It's a pretty serious thing that we need to take pretty seriously. In fact, very seriously. Even more important for us to do what this proverb says and to bring our hearts and our ears to the right thing. Our hearts will and can deceive us into following it into places that it has no business being, that we have no business going to. Places of trouble that will harm our hearts and harm our souls and harm our minds and can potentially do much harm to other people as well. Places like selfishness, self-promotion, addiction, adultery, wrong thoughts, cheating, lying, prejudice, unforgiveness, anger, hatred, pride or haughtiness, gossip, self-reliance, and on and on and on, the places that are not good places for us to go, that we might end up if we follow our heart. Because all the while we're following and all the while our heart is leading, it's also telling us that these things are okay and maybe even justified. And that's where the deceit comes in. That's just not true. It's very, very dangerous. Taking control and bringing our hearts and our ears to the right places, especially in this day and age when we are constantly bombarded with all kinds of information, with all kinds of knowledge, with all kinds of instruction, won't necessarily be easy. In fact, it most likely will be very difficult, but it will be holy and good and beneficial. It will be life-giving and peace-producing. Willfully and intentionally bringing our hearts and ears to the right things, to the right instruction, which is defined here meaning discipline and correction, and to the right knowledge meaning the knowledge or truth, godly things, godly instruction, godly knowledge. Wow, don't we all need those things in abundance? I do. So today and today forward, let's set our minds and pay attention to the things and places that our hearts and our ears want to go and want to take us and want to lead us. And let's be on purpose about bringing them from those places to godly instruction and godly knowledge. I pray that this helps someone today. I pray that it brings your attention to things that you may not even be aware of. I pray that it blesses you. I love you and hope that you have a wonderful day.